Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Tempest. Thank you for sharing what you do. We have others that are sharing what you do. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. Good to see you connecting here. Um, Thank you, Tina, for sharing what you do. Just keep on. Let's continue to share what we do, and we want Matthew. Yes, continue to share. All right, so here we go. What I want to do is I want to just go ahead and start talking to you. And when I started to work on this thought process of augmented reality, it came at two different opportunities. There was an opportunity, a friend of mine invited me to come and share and to speak to his group, and he wanted me to speak on productivity. And so I started working on what is the best way to be productive. And the best way to be productive, there's so many different ways. There's the skill set of production. There's the working with what's in your natural strength finder production. There's all kinds of ways to be productive. But what it really comes down to is knowing exactly what you have and what you offer and how to do it. And I have a next door neighbor. His name is Dave. He actually moved. And Dave worked at Boeing. And he would work graveyard. And when he worked graveyard, he'd come home in the morning, and I'd just be getting out and going to do things. He's just coming home in the morning, and I would just think, my goodness, he works really hard. He was a manager at Boeing, and as he's doing this work at Boeing, I realized something that really makes things productive is when you actually have enough light. When there's the lighting allows you to work when there's needing things to be done at night. And so when the electrical bulb came, when the light bulb came, it allowed us to work in the middle of the night. It allowed Dave to do graveyard shift. It allowed people to work when normally people would sleep. It allowed the 24-hour workday, which made us overall a more productive people because we can work constantly. We can go now on the street and drive, and it makes you more productive. And so I realized that just the idea of light, when Thomas Edison was able to take the light bulb and make it safe, it increased productivity. When Westinghouse was able to take it and put it on a grid, it produced productivity. And these two men were able to create such a world for us that allows us to be more productive than ever before. But it comes with two things. Productivity and increase and success and influence comes with two things in mind. No matter what your business is, it will always have these two things: innovation and the implementation of that innovation. If you can't implement your ideas, then it doesn't work. If you can't come up with a new idea to implement, then it doesn't work. So the key of productivity will always be that awareness and the execution of that awareness. So in your business, and you've been working and implementing at the level of awareness that you have. You've been implementing at the level of awareness that you've been given. Maybe you went through a school, maybe you went through a training, and it gave you a certain level of awareness, and then it also gave you the practical of how to implement that awareness. But I want to tell you that you can actually, in this next season, because of the challenges, because of the restrictions, because of the problems that are rising, you can actually come up with another innovation or another level of awareness that will then activate another level of implementation or execution, and it will change the way your industry works. It will change the way everything works. So I want to encourage you in this season that you're going to have to be more creative than ever before, and it's within you. You know your business. You know what you do. You know what your clients want. You know what you would want if you were a client. And that's the key to actually figuring out. First of all, I know what I would want. I know the level of expertise. I know the level of joy that I want from a certain service or from a certain product. You know what your customers are constantly saying they love. Well, in this season, it allows you to actually cut away what is not important and to focus on what is truly important. What are people really loving? What are people really needing? So you're going to have to make some new decisions, some new choices, but don't just make new choices for survival's sake. Make new choices for awareness sake. Become aware of what really works and become aware of what doesn't work. Be the person who is allowing only that which works to fill your time. only that which works to fill your energy. And there's some things we get into really just in business and in any aspect. We get into some seriously some bad habits. We get into bad habits, and these habits become a part of our daily working. And as they become a part of our daily working, I want you to understand that as a part of our daily working, we allow bad habits to come, and then they become our habits. They become our habits. We don't realize that they're bad habits. They're just habits. That we do it with shortcuts maybe that were implemented, things that were implemented that take us away from the innovation and the aha. But now you get the clean slate. You need to actually look and see how things can turn around. I'm a ordained minister, as well as a business leader, as well as a leader in communities, and a speaker and a traveler, a traveling speaker, an itinerant communicator. And one of the things I realize is that in my daily reading, I read books on success. I read many other books, but one of the books I read is the Bible. I read the Bible every single day. And as I read the Bible, I've learned that I need to see the Bible with new aha, with new awareness. Not just what I learned in Bible school, not just what I learned in the world of ministry. Because as I read the Bible as a minister, I see one thing. But if I read the Bible as a business leader, I see another thing. And I want to show you a scripture that I read, and you may not be a Bible person, but if you are a person of success, you'll appreciate this. If you're a person who wants to achieve, you'll appreciate this picture. I want to read this scripture because I want you to understand that God is as much as a businessman as anyone else. And what we need more now in this day, in this hour, with this circumstance, is God in our communities and God in our business. And what we want is we want to invite him in, and he has knowledge. He's very smart. He's the most intelligent brain you can ever imagine, and he's smart about business, and he's smart about life. And let's look at what the scripture says in Romans chapter 12. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Which is your reasonable service. Let's just think about this. And this is how I think about the scriptures when I'm looking at it as a business leader, as a business person who runs a business or runs corporations. I want you to understand, he's saying, first of all, I want you to live, I want you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice. If you're going to build anything, you have to be willing to lay your life down for it. You have to be someone who's willing to go, listen, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to work diligently. You may say, what, I'm going to die for my business? That may be a little exaggerated in what you're thinking, but if you think about Disney, and what Disney was willing to do is he mortgaged his house, he got all the money he could get, he borrowed from family and friends, and he literally laid himself out as a living sacrifice in order to make Disneyland work, because he had an augmented vision. He had an augmented reality. He had something that was working, that he could see himself working, he can see himself living in, he could see other people living in, he could see all of this happening, and it wasn't there. It was just a big piece of land, but he could actually see it, and he could actually see it alive. And so when he went to get the money for it, he actually became someone that says, I'm going to lay my life down for this. This is going to live because I live. And sometimes you have to know that your dreams are going to cause things to live, and things are going to only live because you so desperately want to see it live. I think one of the things I love about being an entrepreneur, and I love about entrepreneurs, not just managers and not just business people, and if you're in those positions, you're welcome here as well, but I love the entrepreneur because the entrepreneur sees something in a place that it's not there. They see a reality that no one else sees, and they work hard with business plans, they work hard with vision, and they work hard with trying to create this reality in front of people so that they also can see it. And that's what Disneyland did. That's what Disney did. And I want you to know, in order to be a living sacrifice, a sacrifice is meant to be burned. And that's the mindset of a sacrifice. You're gonna burn. I want you to know that what God wants for you, and what your business needs from you, and what community and society needs from you, is you to be a fiery, hot, passionate person. Fully on fire, fully passionate about your business, fully passionate about your life, fully passionate about the assignment that's on your life, fully passionate. A person who is burning constantly with this passion. That is a living sacrifice in my mind. Someone who's passionate, and then it says holy and acceptable unto God. I want you to get this, that you have to know that this Business is not some kind of side thing that we do and then, okay, we're going to go to church and please God. Business is pleasing to God. You have to see yourself separated to God as a business person. When I go and do business, I do business unto God. When I'm making a contract happen, when we're working it out and we're making it happen, everybody's working together. I want you to know it is a beautiful thing when we can work together. That is a godly thing. That is holy. But I want you to understand this word holy means to be separate, to separate things, to be separated to something, or to have something separated to you. So I want you to get this. I want you to understand. There's business that's only separated for you. It's only for you to find. It's only for you to discover. And there's ideas only for you. They're not reserved for everybody. They're holy ideas. They're completely separated for you to manifest, to bring forth, to show. They're ideas that came to you. No one else is getting those ideas because they're holy level of ideas. They're sacred, they're sacrificial, they're sacred. And when you add the passion and you add that separated place to you, and then God goes, that's acceptable to me. You're doing something that is not just copying, you're doing something that is designed for you to accomplish and designed for you to do. That's acceptable to God. And he says, this is just reasonable. This is just living a life full of passion, living a life like you're doing something that's only for you to do, that there's not for a bunch of people to do. It's a separated thing. It's a movement that's in your being. When you're doing it with complete separation to it, and you find that God is pleased with the way you do business, it's just reasonable. That's just reasonable that I would live with all passion. It's just reasonable that you would do what you do with all passion. It's just reasonable that if you, like Sabrina, she does hair. She is literally passionate about healthy hair. I just love it because she's not just, I'm doing hair to get a job or to make money. She is passionate, and she's somewhere in that community list. She's commenting down there. She should be putting it down. She's getting a shout out right now. So, but she's completely passionate. We have people that are on this that are completely passionate. They're completely passionate about what they do. And I want you to know that this is important for you to be completely passionate. We're getting some interruptions with this, but we're going to keep on going. That you are living passionate. The next thing it says is, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and that you may prove what is good, acceptable, and perfect. I want you to get this, that you are going to have to renew your mind to some things. You're going to have to change your mind about the way you do business. You're going to have to change your mind. You have to renew your mind. The way you renew your mind is to actually allow new ideas, ahas to come to you, new frames of thinking to come to you, to be new in your thought process. If you've been doing it for a long time, you're going to have to do some new things. You have to allow some new thoughts to come to you. And what's really important, what's extremely important, and I see that we're going in and out, but what's really important, extremely important for you, is that you are someone who says, I'm allowing new thoughts to come. I'm allowing ahas to come to me. You have to go from being someone who is completely stuck in a system to allow innovations to come your way. And when you allow these innovations to come your way, you'll get a new aha. And in that, you'll find new systems, processes, plans, and way to be productive. And you'll implement those things to come. But you need to allow the ahas to come. You need to allow these systems to come to you, these new ideas, these new ways of thinking. And that's what happens when you renew your mind. You allow your mind. And then you renew your mind to, am I going to just do what is good? Am I going to do what is, maybe pleasing? Or am I going to go for the perfect? And one of the things you need to know as we go into this a little bit deeper, in order for you to really do what is good, you need to go beyond what is good. You can't do what is good and expect good results. Good doesn't get good results. Good gets poor results. And so you're going to have to actually go for what is good and get good results. Oh, still having some challenges. I'm going to see if I can, just for the internet peeps, see if I can just switch this up. I'm still recording here, so I'm going to keep on recording. But we need to make sure that we are getting good results. And in good results, you're going to have to actually do excellent. Excellent gets good results. Now, if you want excellent results, which would be the acceptable and pleasing results, then you're going to have to do outstanding. Outstanding results get excellent results. And so if you're going to get, you got to get outstanding results. You got to go deeper into the outstanding. And so if you want to get outstanding results as your outcome, you have to go into the exaggerated, over the top, and you have to be obsessed about something. Obsession gives you the outrageous, excellent results. And so in that, you're going to have to actually know how to focus in that. And so hopefully we're going a little bit strong, a little bit better here. I want you to know you can have those kinds of results, but you're going to have to know how to renew your mind. You're going to have to know how to do that. And one of the things that I had in my outworking for you was literally how to renew your mind. It was I wanted to show you how to do that. I wanted to share this with you on the screen, but you have to use your imagination now. So if I can activate your imagination now, then I know we can get new thoughts to you later. And this is, if you think of your mind as two spheres. First, you first see the big circle. We're going to draw a big circle here. And we're going to call that your conscious mind, And then we have a lower circle, and we're going to call that your subconscious mind. You know that. You've heard that since you were a child. You have a conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Those are the two spheres of greater influence in your mind. But there's a third one that's never drawn out. It's never drawn out, and it's called the creative subconscious mind. So you have your conscious mind, and you have your subconscious mind, and then you have this other aspect, this other sphere of your mind, which is the creative subconscious mind. And the creative subconscious mind deals with making sure that it takes information from your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, literally from your subconscious mind, and it works on solving the problems, the things that you've been meditating on, the things that you've been worried about, the things that you have been, concerned with. It's literally takes those things. I'm so sorry we're having a hard time making this connection. Hopefully it's better. I'm going to look here just for a second. Just for a second. I see a lot of feedback here. Lagging again. Oh. I love technology. We're going to come up with new innovative ways to do what we do. We're going to come up with really new ways to do it. But I want you, thank you, Sandra. I want you to understand that when you have this mindset, this conscious mind is collecting information. When you walk into a room, your conscious mind is gathering information. So you can walk in a room and your conscious mind is gathering information and you're thinking through every detail that you see. But your subconscious mind is collecting it at a higher rate, at a higher level. It's taking in all the information in just a blink of an eye in a second. And your conscious mind has to be aware of all of the details before it collects that information. So in your subconscious, you have all of that. When you go to sleep, your subconscious mind works with your creative subconscious to make sure, I'm going to just close this so I'm not distracted by the lack of things moving. Your creative subconscious works with all the details and it begins to pull in the information and it begins to solve the problem. Your conscious mind goes to bed with, gosh, I don't like this. I don't like that I'm having internet issues. I don't like that we're constantly having this. What am I going to do? We're going to have a solution. I need a solution. I go to bed with that problem. When I go to bed with that problem, my subconscious mind then begins to work with my creative subconscious mind, and it begins to work out a solution, a detail. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you get this? Why don't you change this? And when I wake up, I will have an aha. And you and I have had those aha moments. Those are the moments that your creative subconscious has been feeding your conscious, has been working out these details, these problems with your subconscious mind. When you wake up, it feeds to your conscious mind and you go, gosh, I never thought about that. And then you begin to formulate it. You begin to change it. One of the things that's important is that you know that these realities, this augmented reality is like this camera that I'm using. This camera is it has a lens, it has a shutter. I have the ability to convert it over to take still shots. And the still shot is when that shutter opens and closes and it captures an image and it impresses it on a chip. And as far as these and then imprint it on a on a memory card. Well, that all is very powerful. It's open, shutter, captures information, collects information, and is going to use that information later. That's the same thing that happens. Your eyes open, your subconscious mind opens, your heart opens, information comes in, and then you start to build this beautiful picture. What you need to do is you need to be able to project yourself into that. The more you can see yourself in that picture, the more your creative subconscious and your conscious mind will work to get you there. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm trying to work through all of the distractions at the same time. I'm in this moment. I'm completely in this moment. But you have to understand. So let me give you a good example. An example, I was looking for like a little vacuum cleaner. I went to my friend's house, Paul Brady, and he has this little vacuum cleaner that comes out and it takes, I just love it. I think it's cool. I'm watching it the whole time I'm at his house, and it's doing this thing, and I'm thinking I want to get one. And so I go online and I go into the famous marketplace app where you can see it and you can try to buy something. And I'm on Amazon, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I find this little vacuum, and I see it, and it says, "Do you want to see what it looks like in the room? Do you want to see what it looks like in the room?" And so I said, yeah, and I pushed a button, and it literally opens up the camera lens and allows me to see the room. But then it actually puts that little vacuum cleaner in the room. It doesn't move around or anything. It's just a little vacuum cleaner in the room. And I'm thinking, that's so cool. It opened up the room to me, and it put that thing that I wanted to see. Now I can see what it looks like in the room. And I realized that that's what we need to do. Most of us don't achieve what we want to achieve because we actually are looking still through the window and going, wow, that would be cool if my business actually was yielding net profits of $1 million a year. That would be so cool, but we still see it far off. We still see it over there. Oh, that would be so awesome if that happens. But the realization, it only happens when you put yourself in that room. When you see yourself living as the millionaire, that one that is bringing in millions and millions of dollars. The people that I'm working with in my mastermind, I'm actually saying, listen, I don't want you to see the person. I don't want you to see yourself as the person who is making $1 million, or that you even have $1 million business, or you have a $10 million business. I want to go one step further, because it literally, I think it activates a little bit more. But what if you see yourself writing and contributing $1 million checks? And you see yourself with that organization, whether it's a house of worship, or whether it's the Red Cross, or whatever your contribution, your desire to contribute. What if you see yourself writing $1 million checks? Don't just, you have to put yourself in the room over a checkbook. I know some of you are like, I don't even know what a checkbook looks like. But you see yourself pushing a button to $1 million going away in a wire transfer. And you can see yourself doing it. I actually want to write that check. I don't want to just push a button and see a wire transfer. I want to write those kinds of checks, because there's something about the dominance of being able to write it out and feel it and see it, seal the envelope, put it over there. Even if I just write it out and push the wire transfer, I see myself writing $10 million checks, $100 million checks to organizations, and being a giver, a generous person like that, being a contributor. When you start to see yourself like that, you start to see yourself in a different light. I realized something. I noticed that I realized something about Tony Robbins, and who's in a billion dollar status. Multiple billions, right? So, but I realized that his big conversation is about how he's contributing, he feeds 1 million people a year. That's amazing. You have to see yourself in there handing out the food. And when you see yourself doing that, you'll do whatever it takes on the other end to make that happen. That's the augmented reality. What is going to be the big picture that you build for yourself? What room are you building that you see yourself putting yourself into? And when you see yourself in that room, then you can actually go after that room, and you can actually live out that space, because it's going to happen inside of you that you're going to go, I'm burning hot for this. The first thing is that you be fully passionate and on fire. Fully passionate, on fire for it. Number 2 is that you would think that I'm not going to wait for someone else to do this. This is wholly for me to do. I'm separated to get this done myself. And then number 3, I'm going to be pleasing to the whole world, but I'm going to please God by being good to the world. I'm going to contribute in such a level. I'm going to start a business that takes pressure and pain off of people that's going to be exciting. So I'm going to be hot. I'm going to be completely passionate about it. I know that this is up for me to do it, and I'm going to actually change the world by doing this. The world's going to be a better place because I do this. And when you do this, I'm going to give you another 3. Those 3 things, but I'm going to give you another 3. When you do this, don't do it just to be good. Don't do it just to be accepted. Don't do it but do it after that perfection. And remember, if you're going after perfection, you're going after the excellence. And if you're going after excellence, you can only do it by being obsessed about it. You have to get completely overwhelmed about it. So we can do things just good. We can do things that are just acceptable. But if you want perfect, you have to be obsessed about it. And I just think if you can do that, if you can go and put yourself in this augmented reality, what does my future look like? Draw that out. Picture it. See it. Your mind is not going to have the solutions for it until you actually can create that picture. That's why this is augmented reality, to help you in the transitions, help you in a negative climate, help you in challenging and crisis times. You have to actually see yourself beyond this. Don't see and envision yourself in some bunker, hidden out. That's survival. I'm telling you, this is the season to thrive. There's something on the other end of this. We're going to actually see it, but we have to envision it. We have to dream it out. So see the picture. What does the room look like? What did Disney see? He saw everything that we now see. He saw that in his heart, and he saw that in his mind, and he was willing to be passionate about it. He was willing to go the extra mile and say, I'm not waiting for anyone to do it, and I'm going to change the world by it. If you can have that in whatever your industry is, you will literally change the world, and it will be excellent. Not just good, not just acceptable, but perfect. And in that perfection, but you have to actually create the perfect world first. Create the environment. What does it look like? So when I do these videos, I create a perfect environment. Yes, I do have an environment that I want this to be. I want Facebook to deliver. I want my streaming to deliver. I've been talking to my friend Callie. We're building a platform so that we don't have to deal with all this stuff anymore. That platform is going to be changed. We're going to actually have a high delivering platform so that I don't have to go. I appreciate Facebook, but I don't want to be relying on Facebook to get it right. I'm sitting there waiting for them to give me my right, and then all of a sudden when I get on, it automatically locks people. I don't want that. I want to be able to stream, and I want to be able to communicate. And I want to be able to do this without jitters, without being frozen. I don't want to be frozen every time. I want to actually be able to deliver content to you. I want you to win. I want to win with you. I want to see you winning. And the only way I can do that is by getting rid of all of this stuff that's polluting and clouding and stopping me from being at the level of excellence. I'm not going to accept poor, and I'm not going to accept good. I'm going after with the full passion for your destiny to be excellent. I'm going after excellent. Guess what? I'm obsessed about it. I'm completely obsessed about it. So I see myself in a room. I see myself in this room of excellence. I see myself in this room delivering content that changes your life, wakes you up the next day and you go, I can't wait to get going. And you have new ahas and new ideas that come to you. But I have to help you build this augmented picture. I have to help you build this picture where you see yourself winning, not see yourself surviving, not see yourself barely living, see yourself winning, not see yourself sick, to see yourself dominating, to see yourself overcoming. So we build this picture. We put you in the picture, the augmented reality. This is reality that I'm now going to start working on. I can see it, but it's not really good reality until perfect reality until everyone else sees it as well. I want people to see what you're dreaming. So this is how it happens. Decisions are not made in the moment you think you're making those decisions. Every decision is starting. It takes 7 seconds. 7 seconds for your subconscious mind to drive the information to you, a decision that you've already made, to your conscious mind. When you go shopping, you think you're buying that blouse now because you just saw it, but you already had it in your mind that if you saw it, you would get it. It's already in you. So what we do is we actually take this reality, this augmented reality, and we keep driving it into our conscious mind, into our subconscious mind, so that we can make decisions properly in the moment, decisions that need to be made. So it takes 7 seconds for this from my conscious mind, my subconscious mind to my conscious mind. 7 seconds. That means I already made the decision, because my conscious mind, it's 7 times 100 seconds. So approximately 700 seconds it takes for my conscious mind to be aware of what I'm going through. That means anytime I'm making a decision, I've already made that decision. So you and I must feed our subconscious mind the information before it actually comes to our mind, so that we've already made a good quality decision. You don't make good quality decisions in the moment. You make good quality decisions through preparation beforehand, what you're going to do beforehand. And this is what you do. This is your assignment, and I'm going to close off because I can't give you all of the information I wanted to give you. I wanted to give you so much more, and we'll do this, and we'll make sure that we get all of our ducks in a row. And again, thank you for being patient. Sorry for the late tardiness. I don't like that, but this is where we are. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to build that augmented picture. That picture, this is what my life is going to look like. This is what my marriage is going to look like. This is what my body's going to look like. This is what I'm going to look like. Build that picture. But we don't just look at it from the outside. I want you to put yourself in that picture. And I want you to look at a 360-degree angle imagery of what you look like in that space. What do you look like? How do you walk? How do you talk? What do you say? What don't you say? What do you do? Your shoulders back, your head down, you're up and down. Build that picture. And then I want you to give yourself that picture. I want you to speak it out, communicate it, talk it out, muse it out in the morning, muse it out in the evening. I'm getting new augmented reality for myself. I'm musing it out in the morning and I'm musing it out in the evening. And maybe next month if you end up coming to the Influencers Connect Night, and I think I'm going to try to make sure that we can get online next month. So if you live outside of the community, maybe we can make a way where you can get connected and you can actually get more content and just kind of see what's happening here in Bellevue. Things are happening in Bellevue, Washington. Things are happening for influencers and wealth creators. I want you to get this. So when you build that out, I want you to say it in the morning. I want you to muse it out to yourself out loud. Don't mumble it. Just say it out loud. Let it get in your ears, get in your heart, get in your subconscious. And then I want you to see yourself in it. Don't just do the thing where you're just saying it, but see yourself in it. And then at night, do it again. What are you doing? You're actually telling your subconscious mind, this is the picture we're going for. And it's now going to fight off all the other things, all the other problems. And it's going to feed you with the creative subconscious. It's going to feed you new realities that are going to help you make the connection between your augmented, your current reality, and the reality you want in the future. It's going to actually start to build connection points. And when it builds those connection points, you're going to actually be able to walk into those things. The next comes implementation. You're going to have systems, processes. You're going to have implementation, execution. You're going to have to execute those things. It's not going to be some kind of magic wand. Just because I see it and I feel it and I have passion for it, you've got to implement it. But you'll have the passion. You'll have the passion. You'll have the knowledge that it's going to be on you to do it, right? The responsibility and the ownership of it. And then it's going to have that third aspect. You're going to do it and you're going to change the world in it. I want to do stuff that changes the world. I don't want to just watch the world change. I want to be a part of the world changing that's taking place. That's why you and I dream of things that other people are not doing, because we want to do that. Feed yourself that in the morning. Feed yourself in the evening. Your creative subconscious mind is going to work with your conscious mind. But with this, what's going to happen, what's going to be really beautiful is then when the opportunities come, you're going to recognize the opportunities, because 7 seconds from here to here, you've already made the decision, because you've been training yourself to do it over and over and over. I'm telling people right now in this season, some of you are just, you have a widget that you work your widget, but you need to get into a knowledge-based business. You need to actually take that widget, and let's help you formulate how you can take that widget and the knowledge that you have and all the years of competency that you have in doing what you do. Let's take that and let's build some things. A knowledge-based business and a movement is really created of 4 aspects, and you can get more information on this at my website, tracyarmstrong.com, or if you can go, you're interested in a mastermind, influencersmastermind.net. You can go there and find out information, and I'll talk to you about these 4 aspects that create a movement. Your ability to speak, your speaking, like what we're doing now. Speaking is not only from the stage, but it's also in front of a camera. We'll teach you how to do that. We're also going to teach you how to write, because words and written is the beginning of a movement. And that's what creates a movement, when your words and your writing. And then we're going to talk to you about video, and we need to probably do something on streaming. I'm going to actually do something with Callie, because he wants to do a knowledge-based understanding of what it actually is going to take to get streaming to where, I appreciate all of our providers, but we got to do something different. We got to do something different. I can't have this inconsistency. We need to be consistent with it. And then the fourth thing is that you need to have your own course. So we have speaking, we have writing, we have video, and then your own course, and those things create a movement. So I want to help you get your message and make your message a movement. And I'm so glad that you joined with us. I'm really hopefully you got something in between the stuttering. I have recorded this, so we will make the recording available to you. And I'll see if any of my associates are there, and maybe there's some questions. Let's just give 5 minutes or so on questions. I don't know how long I've been talking. Been talking for quite some time, so hopefully this is stuff that's going to be beneficial. It's going to be helpful for you. But don't forget this. This is the thing that I want you to really get, is that you have to, if you're going to get into the augmented reality, you have to allow passion. You have to allow yourself to say, this is for me to do. And then number 3, you have to know that this is what you're doing. Is this going to change the world? Because that's what I'm going to give myself to. Something that's going to change the world. You're here to change the world. You're here to make the world a better place. And I know that you can do it. It's more than a song. It's who you are. It's what you do. You make the world a better place. Let's see.